Welcome back to Summit Sunrise. I'm here with Peter from the Sound Room, and as always, bringing us all kinds of fun things to play with here on the morning show. Now, Peter, tell us first of all, what is the Sound Room? What do you guys do?
The Sound Room is some audio and video custom installer, pretty much.
Okay.
Anywhere from the TV to speakers to whole house audio, home automation, and key is getting those all integrated and making an easy to use system.
Right.
So it's,
and for instance, even if you guys just came up to visit and you're here and your kids brought their video games and there's some kind of video game system in your house and you cannot figure out how to work the two, these guys can help you out. I mean, it's really amazing.
Right, right.
Okay, now today, tell me a little bit about your speaker selection.
Sure. There is a wide variety of speakers out there. To start off with, we call it, this is pretty much a bookshelf speaker that you got right here. So like it's on the stand right now. You could set it on your shelving or on the table, like in this case. They can be mounted as well. So this is what we call a bookshelf speaker.
Okay.
And then there's something like a tower speaker. So it's a lot taller speaker.
Sure. Okay.
Which is set pretty much in front of your room.
Okay.
Which is a lot more visual.
Right.
But it has its benefits, and we'll talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
So these are speakers that are a lot more visual. If you wanted to hide the speakers, then there's an option which is pretty much called an in-ceiling speaker.
Oh
which
my
is
gosh,
this.
that goes in your ceiling?
It goes in your ceiling. And then there's a variety on this as well. It's called an in-wall speaker. And they're typically a lot more rectangular.
Okay.
But the round speakers typically go into your ceiling.
Oh my gosh.
That's what that is. And it comes with a grill. So right now we're just looking at they call that tweeters, that are like the little speakers in there, call those tweeters, and there's two of them in here. But it also comes with a grill. So you can cover it up so you're not looking at the tweeters if you don't want to.
Wow.
And the nice thing about that is if you have it in your ceiling or in your wall, you can paint it as well.
Oh my gosh.
So if you wanted to make it the same color, you just make it the same color and it totally disappears. So that's a big advantage of the in-ceiling and the in-wall speakers at that point.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, and then what about talking about your sound treatment options? What can you do with that?
Sure. So the one thing is with the in-ceiling speakers, typically it also inclines a lot of open space in the ceiling itself. If you were to put that into the ceiling, it will give you great sound still. But it also has the opportunity to kind of blend out in the ceiling itself. And the nice thing with that is you could put that whole speaker pretty much, you could put that in a sound treatment box, which is this.
Okay.
So this like cabinet kind of deal goes in the ceiling and the speaker fits in the hole. And because it's enclosed on the top, it will force the sound to go downward.
Right.
So it improves the sound quality. But a bigger advantage is also that it eliminates the sound of traveling into the ceiling. So it doesn't spread out to the ceiling or adjoining bedroom or upstairs. So it's super
really
enclosed.
Concentrated on where you're at.
Exactly. And then the same material, it's like a rubber type of material. You could also put inside the wall. So you put this inside the wall. And you put the drywall, the finished drywall, you put on top of that rubber, and pretty much eliminates also the sound from penetrating to the room next door.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
which is cool options.
Which is a great option, for instance, if you have a home theater.
Right.
Where you pump it up a little bit, you want to play it a little bit louder.
Of course.
And that pretty much helps to keep that within that room instead of traveling all the way around. So that's a lot of options when it comes to sound treatment. Okay,
now tell me about uncompressed audio. What is that?
So what you will hear typically in a home theater is uncompressed audio, and it will come out of Blu-ray. So if you have a Blu-ray player and you put a Blu-ray disc in there, it's called uncompressed. Before it was compressed, because the DVD discs, the older format, was not able to get all the information on that disc. There was not enough capacity on that disc. What they can do right now is, because the Blu-ray player has a lot more capacity, more information it can deal with, they put pretty much the original soundtrack, well, it was recorded in the studios, on that Blu-ray. So it's, first of all, it's a lot clearer. And typically it's a little bit louder as well, so you don't have to turn up the volume that much, and it makes it sound a lot better.
Right.
It's really nice. The
Really
uncompressed
enhances
audio.
that experience of watching things.
Absolutely,
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and obviously you guys have Blu-ray players and everything that you would need to be compatible with that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, what about super audio? What is
Super audio. A lot of people don't know about super audio, but I wanted to bring it up. We talked about the tower speakers, the big speakers.
Sure.
And when you have a setup like that, where it's pretty much stereo, left and right, then what they created is super audio. So once again, that home theater where before you had 2 speakers, now you have all the speakers around you. They call it surround speakers. So you have 5 speakers instead of the 2 speakers.
Oh.
But what they did with super audio, it's almost like listening to music in surround sound.
Oh.
So when they originally recorded it, they actually have the effects coming out of all the speakers and set you right in the setting of that music event. No matter if it's a live show,
oh my gosh,
or if it's orchestra or things like that.
Wow.
So instead of having it just come from the front, it actually surrounds you. And it's a super audio format. A lot of people don't know about that.
Yeah.
But it's a really, really cool feature. And you need for that you need a super audio CD, as they call it, because you had the regular CD.
Okay.
And now you need a super audio CD, but you also need a player that will play that back.
Sure.
And we have a setup in the shop as well where people can listen to the super audio.
Oh my
and I
gosh.
like it, super audio sounds so already super.
Is that right? Can you imagine watching like the Super Bowl or something in your friend's house that had that? Oh my gosh, it would be so popular.
Right,
Wow.
absolutely.
Okay, now then, what about like subwoofers? What is that?
The subwoofer is a great, it's pretty much a box that creates the lower frequency or the bass.
Okay.
And it's really beneficial, for instance, if you had a speaker like this that you have in your ceiling or in your wall. These speakers are not really good at is the lower frequencies.
Okay.
So they have a wide range of sounds they can produce, anywhere from really high to low. But if you really want to make it a warm feeling, what you can do is put in a subwoofer in the room, and it complements the lower frequencies. And it's getting somewhat technical, but it's pretty much taking over the bass from this speaker and puts it out through that subwoofer.
Okay.
And you will see it especially in a home theater, where the subwoofer complements the rumbles you have.
Oh, right.
And the lower frequency from planes flying over, but it really rumbles and kind of shakes your seat.
Right.
Because you don't really want to hear a subwoofer. That's also typically a misconception, but you want to feel it. Exactly. That's the key.
Right.
So subwoofer is great to enhance that sound once again. Not only in a home theater where you would typically see it, but also in a regular listening area. For instance, in the great room, whereas there's a lot of space, and you want to fill in that warm sound and that rumble a little bit, and it kind of travels over the floor. That's where a subwoofer comes in. So it's a piece that's really complements the audio, but a lot of people think it only suits in a home theater, but it can pretty much go anywhere from your great room to your bedroom. A lot of options there. It's typically a bigger box. It's I would say like a foot by a foot minimum or bigger. But you could hide it behind a wall and put like a speaker cloth in front of it.
Okay.
But once again, there's just like there's in-ceiling and in-wall speakers, there's also in-ceiling and in-wall subwoofers. So you can completely hide it, paint it, and you're good to go.
So many options.
There's a lot of options. There's a lot of options.
Well, if you're curious about how you can just amp up your own, home theater experience, or see what might be able to fit in your home to complement your needs, make sure you get in touch with Peter at the Sound Room. And where are you guys located?
We're in 409 Main Street. In Frisco.
In Frisco. And if people wanted to maybe look at your website, what is that?
That's soundroomfrisco.com.
Okay, there you go. So soundroomfrisco.com. Get in touch with Peter, and it's so fascinating. I could talk to you all day. All right, but of course we are out of time, so we got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back, so don't go away.